of Egyptian position or rank in the Middle East in terms of international relations and creating that balance in a military power, I think it's helping the Libyans to feel comfortable that there is another power helping them against the NATO should anything should occur again.
And Dr. Emad, also, what are the most important decisions that were taken in the ministerial meeting for the Libya and neighboring countries concerning the Libyan crisis? What can you highlight or shed?
I think Egypt at the moment is playing the pull and push factor, because at the moment we've got a number of groups that all conflicting with each other and it's impacting negatively on Egypt. So Egypt is not trying to lose any of them and at the same time is not playing soft. So at the moment Egypt is taking two parallel roads to try to settle the situation. And in terms of the foreign relations, Egypt is continuing the stronger relationship with the leaders in Libya as well as the tribes, because a lot of the Libyan tribes have also roots in Egypt. So trying to create some sort of discussions and agreements among all these tribes, at the same time showing that they are able to defend the Egyptian soil even if they have to attack military forces. And also a lot of the officials have also indicated they are willing to help the Egyptians that they want to leave Libya. So this is really going on the way, especially that we've got more than 1.5 million Egyptians in there. So Egypt cannot take a rush decision to have an entry into Libya, because we've got 1.5 million that are in danger.
So another topic, Egypt's irrigation and the water resources minister Hossein Mughazi said that the first day of 2 days talks around Ethiopia's hydroelectric high dam projects were pleasing. The day consisted of 2 6-hour meetings in which delegations debated contested issues. How do you see the steps taken so far to deal with the dam crisis from one side, and the other side, how do you see the word pleasing?
Oh, okay. In terms, let's go back to the last 2 years in terms of dealing with the Ethiopian dam or the Renaissance dam and how it impacts on Egypt. In the past, we used to deal with it as it's a national security issue and we have to attack the dam should they start to establish it. But I think the approach that Egypt is taking at the moment is playing the soft power with the military power. The soft power basically means that we are happy for you to develop. We are happy for you to have some electric resources. We are happy for you to have a renaissance or some development in Ethiopia, as long as it doesn't impact negatively on our natural resources and our quota of the water. At the moment, in the last few weeks, the agreements with among the three countries, Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia, have led now to the agreement that the high dam is going ahead, the Ethiopian dam is going ahead, unless it's objected to by the international consulting organization or council that's already taken the charge in providing a clear and accurate and detailed report around how the dam is going to impact. And now they're saying it's going to impact or holding about 17 billion cubic meters of water. It's not going to have a major impact on Egypt, but we're going to have to wait and see. Is the report accurate, or was it actually wrong to even give them an initial or a preliminary agreement that you can do it? So at the moment we cannot really hold a decision. We're going to have to be behind the government and behind the president. They already agreed, despite the fact there was some major objections in the past 2 years to even talk to them about the Ethiopian dam. We have to object all the time, but at the moment they're taking a different approach, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what the report comes out, and if it doesn't impact negatively in Egypt, we will help them and we will be involved in development.
But as an observer to this, situation and talks between both sides, time is passing, and as time passes, the development of the project is also resuming. So how long do you think this talk should be taking place? Because you're almost halfway there.
I think Ethiopia is not losing as well. They know that they also need time, because the soil below the dam, where the dam is going to be built, there is a granite type of soil, so it needs treatment, and that takes between 2 to 3 years. So they already know that they're not in a rush. They're trying to negotiate, but just to have an initial agreement that they can have the dam, but they can't establish it right away. So and also holding the water is going to start from next year because of the treatment of the soil.
Dr. Emad, also coming back to another decision that was taking place this week, was what do you think are the reasons behind the presidential decree to hand off some powers to the Egyptian Prime Minister, and what are the outcomes of such a decision, do you think?
if we go back to January 25th, and allow me to say the collapse of the administrative system in Egypt was due to the fact that the institutions and the entire government organizations were all revolving around the national party and around the person of Mubarak. And this is from the administrative point of view. In case of any chaos or instability, it creates or it leads to the collapse of the entire administrative system. So 11 February, when the former President Mubarak announced that he's not going to continue, we found that the administrative system of Egypt collapsed, and not because of the revolution, but because the entire institutions were revolving in the sphere of Mubarak. And this is what we need to do now, is rebuilding the institutions of Egypt and create some sort of a decentralized system for management. And I think President Sisi, with the redesigning the provinces, borders, the new capital, etc., this is the way to go, is to enforce the decentralization of administration, and now giving some powers to the Prime Minister is going to help actually for a better performance of government. So we don't really need to rely on one person in form of President Sisi, but we'll also have some power to the President, and the Prime Minister will also have to give some powers to his ministers, and this is how it goes down. So slowly going into the decentralized system. So definitely it is a good decision to go.
So looking at Mahlib's performance so far, given the new presidency and everything, how do you evaluate it from a high-level perspective?
Mr. Mahlib is definitely very active. The administrative system, in terms of the ministries as well as the entire administrative system, they're all active going through. But the most important thing here that highlights that performance is the vision. I think Egypt for the first time has a vision. Egypt for the first time has a program or a mega plan that we're all going on steps. Last week we've seen the announcement of the third mega project, which is the North Coast. Now, in the last 30 years of Mubarak, we've never seen any national project that's going ahead, not even in 10 years. So if we have every month a national project that's been launched, even if we continue 1% of the time, there's already a vision. And I think this is what is making the difference between the government of Mr. Mahlib and any government before that, is the vision. So it's not particularly the person, it's the vision. As long as we have a vision for our government to lead, any minister will be good. And I think he's doing a very good job in terms of implementing that particular vision and the studies that have been put in place. And we're talking about 22 national projects that have been discussed in different ways. The first one was the Suez Canal corridor, and now we're going into the North Coast.
Well, Dr. Emad, Mehanna, thank you so much. We'd like to thank you for joining us. It was a great pleasure for giving us this overview of the events that have been happening during this week. And now we're going to move on to a report where we have the Prime Minister, Engineer Brahim Mahlib, along with the Minister of Youth and Sports, Engineer Khalid Abdelaziz, have inaugurated the Youth and Sports Development Center in Shubra al-Khema district. The aim of the center was to provide sports facilities to the youth. And we have the Nile TV's Linda Abdelatif has more. So let's go see the report and go on a short break. See you.